welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is my quarter 4 update for my Marvel DVD and Blu-ray collection. So this is the 4th update of 2014. And basically I'm actually filming this on the 19th of December 2014. So there's a little bit of time to go, but I'm going to be so busy for the rest of the month. I don't know if I'm going to have time. There is a couple of bits I'll still have on order. I might just have to put them on the next pickup video in quarter 1 of 2015. So let's get on with what I've got from 2014 in this quarter 4 period. So the first one we'll look at is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is obviously the Blu-ray edition of that TV show. This is the UK one, and this basically had a kind of initial launch of it, had this kind of almost like a digipack really. Later releases just had the standard kind of blue amaret case, but this one has the, you know, the as I say, like pretty much like a digipack, so it all unfolds quite nice. Okay, you could argue that this TV series isn't the greatest, particularly the sort of first season, but, you know, being a Marvel fan, you know, I've got to get it. And I don't think there's lots of different versions of this which are sort of currently available, kind of the limited edition versions. There is a DVD one which has got a different sort of sleeve, and obviously the standard, the now standard Blu-ray version, but that's pretty much it. But it's got, you know, it's got an embossed logo on the front there, and it's kind of almost like a matte finish to it. So, you know, it's quite a nice little box set. Then we're going to move on to Amazing Spider-Man, the first movie. Now this is actually a steelbook from the Netherlands, so it's a bit of a different one. It looks a little bit like the Best Buy one from the States, but this is actually a Netherlands version. So it's just a different layout. Basically, it's kind of a sticker book almost. So it's like a plain steelbook, and they essentially put like a sticker on the actual, you know, the actual sides and the back and front of it, so it kind of is a little bit different. And obviously you've got the sort of the different countries' versions of the rating. So not massively different, but nonetheless, I thought it wasn't too expensive, so I picked it up. Next up, we have a version of the Avengers, and this is a Asian steelbook, and the actual design of this is quite common, to be honest, but there is a difference between, I've got a couple of other versions of this, the European versions, and the difference being that the Avengers logo is actually on this one, and it's embossed. Now I think the some countries, states for example, had this kind of the actual Avengers logo on there, whilst in Europe it basically was plain, and you essentially had the Avengers logo on the kind of the J card. So I wanted to get this because it's a little bit different. It's also got a kind of border around it as well, which again the European versions don't have. So, you know, a little bit of a difference there. So I wanted to get it. Okay, moving on to a DVD. This is something that I haven't seen, well, ever since this one, basically. And this is the Blockbuster exclusive sleeve with Bullseye on the front. Now, I've had the other three being obviously Daredevil himself, Elektra, and Kingpin. But I had never seen the Bullseye version. So this sort of, I managed to pick this up, again, very cheap. And I was like overjoyed. I didn't even know there was a Bullseye version because I had never really sort of seen it. And this sort of, I managed to pick this up, and very chuffed. I don't know if people don't collect DVDs nowadays, but I got it for quite cheap, only 50p. So pretty good. But I've now got the full set of these sort of exclusive Blockbuster covers, so I'm quite chuffed with that. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the steelbook that was kind of a little bit controversial because a lot of people didn't like the design. I can appreciate that it's something different. This is the UK version that was exclusive to Zavvi, and this is, you know, this is kind of a hot property. There are a couple of other sort of Guardians of the Galaxy versions that I'm actually waiting for still. This is one of the ones I'm still waiting for, but no, I thought I'd just do the video now. So as you can see, it's obviously made like a sort of cassette player with the awesome Mix Volume 1 in there, and this is pretty much the same steelbook worldwide, but obviously the J card is going to be different depending on what country you go for. So I've got the obviously the UK version, which kind of sold out pretty quick and was exclusive to Zavvi. Sticking with Guardians of the Galaxy, basically France Amazon had this kind of special box set, Coffret Prestige, basically. Coffret is box set in French. And this basically is a really cool little set with two of those kind of pop Funko figures with Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, and you know, obviously the film itself. So you get two of these kind of figures. I'm not sure if they're exclusive to the actual shop. I don't think they are, or exclusive colourings or anything like that. But nevertheless, it's a nice little package, and this kind of sold out pretty quick as well. The actual Blu-ray, you get the 3D and the 2D Blu-ray. But considering the most common thing that you see on Guardians of the Galaxy is that steelbook, you know, I thought it'd be nice to have something a little bit different. So that is the French box set there. Okay, moving on to Iron Man. A Korean online retailer called Kimchi DVD basically had a kind of very limited run of this kind of re-released Iron Man steelbook, and kind of very limited numbers, and they released 2 versions, and this is one of them. And I really like this one because it's the different design, basically. You know, a really great pose of Iron Man, one that we haven't sort of seen before on the, you know, on the kind of an Iron Man release. So I was very pleased to get this one. I actually had to pick this one up on eBay because I missed out on the actual the release on Kimchi DVD. I got the other one, but on that site, but I missed this one. So I had to pick this one up on eBay, which means I had to spend a little bit more, obviously. But there you go. And basically, these kind of releases, they're all quite good. I don't know if you can see there. They come with this kind of almost like a credit card thing, and it's basically got your kind of your number on there. So there's basically 700 of these. Worldwide. I've got 495 for my one, but a lovely steelbook and a really nice design. So this is the other version, and basically it has a lenticular slipcase. So again, this was from the Kimchi DVD. This one I actually managed to get on the actual site before it sort of sold out, and once again it's a limited edition. This one's slightly higher. So it's 3,000 units basically, this one 2,329. Now, this one I was actually not all that fussed about getting first of all, and the reason why is because the actual lenticular slipcase that you see here, I thought was going to be the same one as the Comic-Con exclusive that they had a few years ago, 2012 I think it might have been. Anyway, but they basically did a kind of lenticular sleeve at Comic-Con that was limited to sort of 500 copies. And I thought, oh, it's going to be the same thing, but it actually isn't. So as you can see, basically the lenticular sleeve basically transforms between Iron Man and Tony Stark, whilst the Comic-Con one basically transformed between the Mark 1, 2 and 3 armours. So the actual lenticular sleeve is different, even though it's actually the sort of same pose here. So this is the same steelbook basically, but it essentially has this lenticular slipcase on it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Punisher, and this is the 2004 Thomas Jane version, and Zavi had a limited edition Blu-ray steelbook of that movie. Not the most exciting of covers, admittedly, but, you know, the Punisher stuff is few and far between, to be honest, so I was glad to get a, you know, a decent edition, steelbook edition on a Blu-ray. But I had to say I was more excited about this one. This is again a steelbook, but this is a DVD steelbook, and this is a Spanish version. And this one is so hard to get. It is extremely rare. And this is the first time I've managed to pick it up. I've seen it on Amazon once before, but they wouldn't send it to the UK. And I managed to pick one up, and I'm so chuffed with this because this is a real hard one to find. You can get a couple of other DVD steelbooks that I've got for the Punisher movie for 2004, and there's a couple of sort of other European versions, but this one was by far the hardest to get, and it's taken me absolutely ages to find it, and I was so happy to pick it up. It's a 2-disc version, and arguably it's not the most exciting cover, but nevertheless, I've been after this for ages. This is actually one of my most prized possessions in my Marvel collection, despite I know some people don't like DVDs, but I do, so there you go. Next up we have Spider-Man 3. This is the Canadian steelbook, and I've been dragging my heels to pick these ones up, to be honest. This is the third one, and I've now got the complete set, and it's one of these ones where I thought, oh, you know, I'd rather spend my money on other stuff, but I kind of have to get it. This one's not sealed, so I'll open that for you. And, you know, I don't really like the design, if I'm completely honest. So it's one of these ones where it's like, oh, I kind of got to get it to complete the collection, but to be honest, I think it's a poorly designed, you know, art here, and lazy, if you want my honest opinion. So, you know, there it is. So there you go. So I finally got that one. So that one's over and done with. And then we move on to X-Men Days of Future Past, and I have a couple of versions of this. So this was a Amazon UK exclusive, and is a media book or digibook, you know, depending on how you sort of say it. This one's sealed up, so I can't open that for you, but it's really nice, and it's like a kind of nice sort of glossy sort of cover here, and basically you get the kind of the book inside, which will open up and give you various kind of, you know, character bios and behind the scenes kind of pictures and things like that. This is sometimes called the Empire Edition, but basically it was an Amazon UK exclusive. And then we have the UK Steelbook. This was exclusive to HMV, and this is there's one or two designs on the Steelbook. This is the first one. There are a couple of variants, and some of the Korean versions had that's got the lenticular sleeve. The German one had a lenticular like magnet that goes on the front of it as well. This is the only one I've got at the moment because it is the same design. I'm kind of less worried about it. Maybe one day. But nice design of this kind of the Sentinel here. If you've seen the movie, you know what that is. Basically, the kind of robotic bad guys from the X-Men universe. So that is the UK Steelbook. And then we have the other design of the Steelbook, and this is in some countries, I believe, this is what it was in the States, and obviously this one's a Korean version. So obviously in some Asian sort of continents, this was the version there as well. And it obviously features Wolverine and Mystique. This one, basically, again, it's sealed, and you've got this kind of J card here. The title is embossed along with the border, and I don't know which version I prefer, actually. I think I probably prefer the Sentinel out of the two of these, to be honest. So, nevertheless, it's still good. It's obviously a considerably different design, so I had to get it. So there you go. And then, well, the final item, basically, I've got is this box set, and this was an American release, and this is the box set of Days of Future Past. There's actually two box sets, sort of. This one is just Days of Future Past. In the UK, we had a collection that was a Cerebro helmet, which also came with Days of Future Past, but all the other movies leading up to that point. But to be honest, I'm a little bit tired of the X-Men films. Every time a new one comes out, there's another box set to collect. There's another sort of like £100 they want you to part with. And I'm like, I don't like the way they do that, basically. Every time that something else comes out, you know, they just re-release it with kind of a slightly different packaging. So I haven't got that one. If I pick it up for cheap, I'll get it, but I'm not too fast. But this one I thought was quite cool. And I've already unpackaged it, so I can sort of show you what you got here, basically. So you basically get the 3D Ultimate Edition of the cover, and again it's a different sleeve here. This sleeve you can actually get as a sort of a separate entity here in the UK. I may well get it actually because it's kind of like the UK version is kind of like a foiled cover, so I might pick that up. But the cool thing of this one is that you get a replica Magneto helmet, and you get a stand with it as well. So obviously it's not a huge piece, but nonetheless, I like the fact that you can actually take it off, and you know, kind of if you have a really small head, maybe you can wear it. But it's really nice, and it's quite a heavy. It feels like it's made of some kind of like ceramic material. And it's quite heavy, and as is the stand, and you've got the little X there. I can imagine it being quite easy to break. It's quite well packaged when you actually open it up, so there's a lot of packaging. This is actually the first time I've opened it. I've not actually unsealed it before making this video, so it's quite cool. It's going to go back in its box after this one. Anyway, that's my update for quarter 4 for my Marvel collection. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the first quarter of 2015. Bye for now.